Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of God, welcome to another episode of Journey with Your Mondis. And yes, we love having you here, because when you're here, we get to talk about things and stuff and issues. And yes, today we are also ready for you. So you can go ahead and comment on the comment segment down below and let us know where you are watching us from, or let us know whether this has been helpful. Watu wetu wa kawaida, wageni wakurugenzi na waheshimiwa wote, akina Laura, akina who else, nyinyi wote, kamati ya roho safi, mnakaribishwa sana. Please please wacha tusikie kutoka kwenu pia tujue. Nyinyi kwanza mnafaa kuwa studio B. Mnafaa kuwa studio yetu ya in case everything falls here, najua mnaweza endelea na hii show. So thank you very much everybody who's taken time to post, to share this, to start a watch party, or to do whatever it is that they have to do so that this show becomes the best every Monday. When it's Monday, we journey with your Mondis, and tonight that's what's happening. If you're new here, we are not talking about people when you're wako hivyo, wako hapa nasi. Put your hands together for your Mondis wenyewe, and they are back again with another interesting story kama kawaida. Yes. So wadau mkoaje? Kwanza salimieni wa Kenya kwa sauti.
Wa Kenya, lakini si wa Kenya peke yake.
Apologies.
Amesema wadau, kwanza salimieni wa Kenya. Na ulikuwa unasikiza kweli?
Apologies. Wadau, salimieni dunia mzima. Salimieni dunia mzima.
Sababu this anaweza kusikia Ajam.
Lakini wakifisi ni Mkenya. Sema wife ya this akinisikia Ajam, mimi sina.
Hapana, unajua ukisema hivyo saa hizi hayuko Kenya, so atafeel vibaya.
Nikwambie kama unaweza catch.
Anyway, I'm Jamboni. It's good to be here again. It's Monday. It's Monday when you see us again on the screen. So it's Monday. Karibuni sana.
Yes, nishakaribisha. Mimi ni kuambia tu manze, we have done, is it 5 weeks of this season, and it's coming to an end today, so that we can take a short break next week, and then we'll come back the week after with a bang, with a new season of the journey. But the journey continues, and thank you so much for being part of the journey, for those who've been with us so far. And if you're joining us today, we are very happy that you just bought yourself your ticket into this. What color is that? That van. I don't know whether it's orange, brown, beige, whether
mustard.
It's mustard,
I guess it's mustard.
Whichever color it is, you have your ticket into the van, and let's continue the journey. This is a place where we say we tell our God story to help you get in touch with yours and find God in it. Karibuni.
Good. Asante sana. That's amazing. All right. I have a few questions even before we start the show today, just to ice break, okay? And first question is, when was the first time what do I want to ask? Nataka kuuliza na Kiswahili. Nataka kuulizaje na Kiswahili? Date yenu ya kwanza. If you were to rate it in a scale of 1 to 10, unapilaje? Ilikuwa inachezea wapi? Tutaanza na Mwix.
Date ya kwanza tu ilikuwa ni gani?
Where tennis?
Tennis the highest. Oh, I know you've asked this question before na tukajibu kila mtu kivyake.
Yeah,
kama kuna consistency.
Tennis the highest. Okay.
But there's a twist to it. Ilikuwa venye ilikuwa last time. There's a twist to it.
Unajua sasa siko sure date ya kwanza ilikuwa gani, but yenye nakumbuka na zinasema ni ya kwanza.
Wewe ile unakumbuka?
Yenye nakumbuka I'd give it a 8.
8. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm.
Okay. Sababu wewe ulikuwa umevaa poa ama sababu brother alifanya kazi poa? Unajua pia inaweza kuwa hiyo 8. Inaweza kuwa hiyo
Hapana,
8 ni ya
sababu I was satisfied with the date. Nilikuwa na feel poa, ameniita date na pia akaenda kanibahia chai, so yeah.
Na napenda chai.
It's not like napenda chai, but you know when someone takes you out na kubahia hata kama ni sweet, unajua. So okay, to me it was a good date. It was like official, as in someone has asked you to go out for a date.
You.
Yeah, it was official that he had asked me for a date. Yeah, so that is what I would say.
Okay, awesome. Buda, wewe rate hiyo ama ni nyingine? Wewe unakumbuka maybe kulikuwa na 10 before hiyo, lakini you are amazed hiyo ndio tu nakumbuka.
Siko sure kama tunaongelelea the same date, but clearly hatuongelelei the same date. Mimi yenye nakumbuka brother, tulikuwa tumepiga kalesa, tulikuwa tumeenda kutafuta, tulikuwa tumetembea, we were doing some exercise. Tulikuwa tumeenda kutafuta, I think I've said this before. Tulikuwa tumeenda kutafuta, we're going to look for a dinner venue, a couple's dinner venue. And
but that was
we connected. To me it was.
Okay.
So, well, sijui kama date ni kubaiwa kitu.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether we are defining this differently, but it seems like for me, just spending that, it was actually a whole day with her. Ilikuwa kitu poa sana. It was such an amazing thing, and I would give it a 9. Yes, hiyo ndio ranking yangu.
All right. Nataka kuuliza watu hapo. Nimerealize kuna shida hapo. Na shida ni ati date kumbe inalingana na mwenye amepelekwa na mwenye amepelekana. So I just want to know how would you define a date? Ama what's your definition of a date? Wacha tusikie ni kwenda kukula ama ni I don't know. Wacha tusikie. But anyway, kuna mambo mengi sana utokea kwa madate. And today we'll be talking about, I hope we'll be talking about that. But today's topic is about the date. Let's talk about the date. So, what's about this date? Kwanza, tumekuwa tukiongelea stories za vile mli break up, nini, something happened which you explained. But thank you very much for being authentic and real with us. And then, after that story, it was clear to us who left the other. We don't need to go back there. I mean, surely. And then we've been talking about, so tumekuwa hapo, and we have addressed several issues. We've addressed issues with communication. We've addressed expectation issues. We've addressed values. We've addressed so many things. Faithfulness in singlehood. You know, how can you still be faithful as a single person? So tuseme tumekuwa tukibonga, tukisema mambo mob sana. But now my question is, how do you now make a comeback, or after the comeback, how is life after the breakup now? So I think you can pick it over from there and tell your story. Mpaka masazi ishe.
That's an interesting question, Dante. Brother, that's a good question. But even as I answer the question, I think itakuwa poa if we informed those who are watching the show from watch parties that if they need to comment, it would be good to comment on the page so that their comments will be seen and be highlighted. Okay, because nime notice kuna wase wengi wako kwa watch parties, and we appreciate that. Keep watching, but send your comments to the page, Jan with Omondis. Well, story ni we broke up. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Life was difficult for several reasons for me, I think. One, we were in the same office.
We.
We were working the same organization last Prince Yokimao. We were sharing the office, and by then office ilikuwa space ilikuwa ni ndogo, so we would literally rub, each other's, shoulders while in the office. Na saa hizo we're working with people who are engaging conversations. Lazima delay, wanataka kukuingiza kwa conversations, ujui venye I didn't know how I would continue on with conversations thinking about her. We are not talking at the first place. So I think for some time there was a lot of pretense when we were with the others. We seemed to be okay, but we know that we are not okay. On my end, I knew that I'm not okay with Mwikali. Okay. And that was very difficult. That was very, very difficult.
So, watu wanauliza maswali zenye inabidi mjibu pamoja. Ni kama mko sawa.
No, in fact, I don't know whether there are some people in the office who sort of wished we dated. So we had started dating, remember? But you see, we're taking it slowly, so tukajiambia tusiambie watu kwanza. Let's see how this will go before we now come out here. So each time yote we are dating, we are not telling people kuna sort of pressure. Let me just call it pressure for lack of a better word. People will come to me, Eric, you've not seen this lady here. I don't know whether she had the same on her end. So naambiana ngoja nimemwona but sijai feel kumbe
ilikuuliza ukaniambia
Dano sorenyo ulisema mko mnasema hata as in bits mmoja wenye alikamesema hivyo, lakini sasa sisi tulikuwa tumesema sasa we are going to
let's give it a few months, then we can come out about it. And then the boat hits the rock before we even come clean about it, and the pressure is still on. But then I think wase walikuwa na notice hapa kuna kitu, the chemistry is not there anymore. Okay, ni kama kuna there's some friction. But that is one. But then secondly, we were neighbors, we were in the same neighborhood, so there are chances that naweza toka hivi nataka kwenda kwa barabara kununua kitu na tupatane na yeye
hapo kwa mboga.
There's a lady there's the car sort of mini shop that had stuff we would buy from in that area along Kapane Road. There are very high chances tungepatana hapo. Okay. So that was another issue. Life became very difficult. So mnakutana, and then what do? Do you wave? Do you ignore her? So that is where I was. But I don't think we actually met per se in the neighborhood. For some reasons, hatukuwa tunapatana. But then thirdly, some of the community that I was serving, she was living with them. Okay, part of the community that I was shepherding, I was pastoring, alikuwa naishi na wao. So I didn't know when to do a pastoral visit. And then the community also sometimes they have an event or a birthday or something, and I'm invited, to be part of the celebration, and she's part of the community. Sasa nashindwa hapa tunaendanga aje? So
na pia ile kushindwa kama amewaambia, unajua unashangaa unaona rume zake unashangaa na mbona mnabehave kama mnaambiwa.
In fact, then at that point, I began, especially in that respect, what you're just bringing out. I was suspicious of this roommate because maybe ameambiwa venye kumeenda. So is she looking at me? Kaliachwa, you get and such stuff. So my life wasn't easy, my friend. But let me conclude that question, answering that question by sharing this. Now, I remember one day we were going for our then it was weekly, isn't it? The pastor's service.
Mm.
I think then it was still weekly. So, and we were rotating in the different campuses. And I remember at that point, we were in collaboration, in partnership with Integrity Worship Center at the River by Pastor Muli, okay? And so we were going to have our our service there, our team service there. And we drove. So tukaenda for some reasons. I think now things had become very difficult, especially for Mwikali at that point. Me, I didn't know that she was actually feeling that bad. It had gotten so much. She had felt I was ignoring her. She had felt that I was actually, there are things I would say, and she was feeling, okay, she'll share more about that herself. But I realized that she was feeling that I was attacking her. So it came out at that time. And we had a meeting, we had a very serious talk with our then pastor and boss, Pastor Aluma. That was very, very helpful. So, ilikuwa noma. But it also helped us. Yeah.
I think for me, your time chenye nakumbuka sana ni after now we broke up, ali change status yake WhatsApp. Unaona ile image ya mse ame walk away. There's image na kuanga mse ame walk away. Alichange akaika hiyo.
Ame walk away, hata sikumbuki.
Nakumbuka vizuri sana. So I felt sad. I was very sad. I was very sad because I knew this someone mwenye I love, and then story imesha tu hivyo. I don't know how it would go. Unajua sasa anaongelea so kumbe yeye alikuwa na struggle na vile watu wanasema. To me that was not even really a big deal. But the big thing for me was I love this guy and things have turned out that way, and ndio hivyo as in imeisha. So I was really sad. I was very angry, and I didn't know what to do, and I was just thinking about him most of the time. I actually scored that your time. I didn't even want to see him talking to any lady. I'm like, what are you telling them? You know, I was not to be bad. I'm like, at some point I felt like, say, just leave this place and just go, you know, because I can't like stand to see him just around Akotuapo and we are mad at each other. I knew that, yeah, it was my decision. It was for the best, but it was really tough on me. So, yeah, like he said, it was so tough. But at that time, when for submitting, I had to, as in I just had to talk to someone, because now I had not spoken to someone. And Pastor Luma was the one who was ready to listen to me. And I talked to him. And after I talked to him, I felt better. And then, yeah, though we don't get back that time, but I felt better.
She talked to Pastor Luma, then Pastor Luma summoned me.
Yes.
We need to talk.
Let me highlight a few comments here. I'm here for the stories, Manze. I am here for the stories. So, what wrong comments? If you don't ask questions, we might as well just continue with them, stories, as I like calling it, Moshene. But yes, Laura is here. Watu wangu anasema my people is people. And then, Laura, asante sana, but anashanga Eriko umenyoa nywele ama leo unakaa brown?
Anakaa brown.
Anakuanga tu hivyo. Mzoe. No, Laura, we are all black. Just all right.
Zef Anana Kine, so this is Pastor Zef. Pastor Zef, big up yourself. Pastor Zef is he's the constant K in all our relationships. He's the one who never changes. The common denominator, not the common divider. Unajua pia kuna common divider. Anyway, Pastor Zef, unafanya meshika mic harakani kama anataka kutuambia kitu. But wacha niseme before. I remember seeing you guys so close at the couples dinner. Hii couples dinner ilikuwa nini? Hii couples dinner imetajwa sana. I would want to know.
I think we helped organize two. One was at the Crown Plaza, Royal Orchid,
67.
and 67. Crown Plaza?
Yeah, that was after I got married.
Oh, that was after. Okay. Before there were those two. Yes.
And after there were two.
All right.
And
Okay.
Right. We were really close.
Actually, Pastor Rispa called us management couple.
Our management couple.
The first one at Royal Orchid, he said, "Hey, you management couple. So you just
simfanye tu kitu."
Hiyo ndio mlikuwa mmetembea sana mkapona.
Hiyo baadhi ya vitu zilitusaidia sana kubond.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so what's about the date? Let's talk about the date. What's so big about the date? You mentioned it somewhere, and I just want to know, and especially our title reads the date.
Yeah.
So what's so big about the date?
So there was this Sunday when Otis came to visit the church and also to visit Eric. Hata kumbe alikuwa amekuja kusika approval. Alikuwa amekaa na manzi yake nao its wife. So alikuwa amekuja kuonesha Eric, manzi, this is the lady that I want to get married to. So unasemaje? Yeah. So that day Eric's dad had also visited the church. So after service, wakaenda home. I went to visit another lady called Anne. So when I was coming back, she was dropping me actually. I met Eric, seen of his friends, of this and the fiance then. So I went to the office because nilikuwa nimeenda laptop yangu huko. And so he came back and then he called me akaniuliza, "Where are you?" Nikamwambia niko church. So
hello, where are you?
So I came somewhere just place fulani hapo. Ilikuwa ni meeting point sana, especially kama amenisindikiza ama hivyo. So akanita hapo and then let's go back to the drawing board and do that. Then
unajisikia ama ujisikii?
Hapana. I'm sorry, sijui nini. I'm listening. I was like, okay. So akaniambia, I know that atuku things did not go on well, and tukaenda up mali tu tuko saizi, but I'd like us to as into now start off well. What do you say? Okay, mimi sikuwa nimefikiria huyu msanii anaweza nimza kitu kaa hiyo. Naona tuko hapana, unajua I was in a journey of forgetting him. Unajua?
What? Sijawaambiwa. Hebu hold up.
Unajua zile za break up na msee na unajua utaki, that was too close.
That was too close.
Unajua sasa, okay, I didn't want to continue suffering. I was not ready to go and nianze kuapia ni kama niko desperate kwake, mimi ndio nilisema to break up and kama hizo. Moment I'm thinking, okay, if it has not worked, then I should just move on with my life. Yes, it's difficult, but let me just start to forget this guy and move on with my life. So that time when he said that, I had not thought about going back to him. So nikajifikiria so I was kind of like, okay. Then akaniuliza just be sincere to yourself, useme kama hautaki, then to hit me, wow, okay. Then I said, okay, maybe if you say so. Then akaniambia, okay, so I'll tell you when you can meet and then talk more. And that was how that day ended. I went home, we went home, and I was happy. At least I didn't have stress anymore. I was happy. Yeah.
Mi nafikiria breakup itaisha hapo.
Hapana, unajua tu ameniambia tu nataka tuanze mali tuliachia, basi hii tuanze poa. Tuanze poa tu clear, and then akanizuia swali ya wewe jifikirie tu kama ujambie tu kweli kama hautaki. Then nikasema okay, sawa, kama ni hivyo umesema ni sawa. Then akaniambia okay, sawa, so I'll call you and then I'll tell you way forward. Nikamwambia sawa. Akaenda home na mimi nikaenda home.
Breakup ilishia hapo. It ended there. That's the thing. Yeah, okay. So you're right.
Okay. Now, let me take you back a little bit, Eric. Nataka kujua. So what made you come back? Kuna mtu alibonga na wewe ama ile meeting ya Pastor Lume ili happen? Kuna mtu alikuchocha akakwambia wewe akuendagi hivyo. Acha mchezo. Utapoteza huyu msichana. Huyu msichana ni kitu. Utapoteza. Ama ilikuwa tu wewe. What happened? Why did you come back?
There are several, not many. There are maybe a few factors to that, including the ones that you're mentioning. Of course, we had a conversation with Pastor Luma about this, and that contributed to that. It gave me perspective in some way, but then also it is this was centrally pushed by me, my processing. I don't process a lot, or maybe I should say I process differently. There are people that I've met that maybe sometimes make us think that processing needs to be in a particular way. I process differently, and as I was processing the situation and my relationship with her, it took me back to especially the conversations we had earlier about, passions, where we want to go and all that, because that is how I got attracted to her. Okay. And I think I've mentioned here before that I had preferences, I had a list, but in that list, kuna vitu kadhaa zenye mwikali is nothing, okay, close to them. But looking back to how we connected, this made me put okay, regardless of the preferences that I had, okay? Because now I saw this as priority. And maybe just to mention, her love for God is just outstanding. She challenges me to actually love God and draw to God, to trust God more. But then also, she was clear on what she wants to do with the rest of her life, or what God wants her to do with the rest of her life. And as I was listening to her, that's where I felt we have a point of convergence. This could be a suitable helper for me. So I went back to that, and I kept asking myself, do I want my pride to cost me that? Do I want to let her go just because I don't want to go beg a lady? Do I want to let her go just because she's the one who broke up? Okay. Do I want to let her go just because I don't want to look, weak? I had all sorts of reasons to just let her go, but I kept telling myself, no, I don't think I want to do that. She is precious. She's someone that I do not want to lose. In fact, even the reason why we broke up in itself should be a reason I should be running towards. Should be a reason enough for me to run towards her, because that is someone that I know for sure will guard her values and will protect what we have. Okay, so I actually respected her more. Okay, because she was not willing to put her guard down. Okay, and that made me want to go back, and that's how I swallowed my pride and just decided, let me now do this and do it right. Do it. In fact, when I was coming back and telling her all this, my intention, what I was saying was, I want to do this with you still. In fact, what she did not say is that I asked her, or maybe I made, I don't know whether it was a question or a statement. We both know that we want this.
Yeah.
I said something like that. Okay. Because I knew from the time we had spent together, it was very obvious that this is the kind of a relationship and marriage we will desire, or we saw God blessing us with. Okay. So that was very clear. And that's why I brought that up again and just asked her that. But you see, I came back because I wanted this to go on, so to speak. I knew what I was getting in this relationship and in her as a person.
All right. So I welcome anyone who is joining us for the first time right now from the watch parties. Welcome to the show. This is Journey with your Mondis, and the journey continues. Swali tunauliza ni when you've gotten hurt, somebody has hurt you so bad, and all you want to do is just disappear. What brings you back? Or when you actually left, what brought you back? I think those are some of the things that hold couples or families together. If you list them there, maybe they could help somebody else or kuchanua mtu. Go ahead, comment. Wacha tusikie. What are some of those things that bring you back? For Eric, he said it is the passions, and he listed a couple of things there. Even the reason that Mwix left, not because of Maringo, it was because of something really that was to help them grow, and even just remembering how that she's a person that he can grow from and through, and some of the things these are some of the things that brought him back. But I don't know about you. What are some of the things that brings you back when you feel like I just want to disappear, or when you broke up or when you left? What brought you back? You never know.
That's
all right. Sawa. So at this point, Mwix ameenda na breakup imeisha, kila mtu ameenda home. So is it awkward trying now to meet again together and looking at each other zile za oh yeah or is it awkward?
I like how you put it.
Or is it awkward? How is it?
Okay, you see, what happened after that? Okay, I'm not sure if it was that was on a Sunday, but I can't remember hiyo ni siku gani yenye we went now for an official date yenye sasa nilikuwa naongelelea.
So wewe kidogo ilifanyika before hiyo siku, ilikuwa tu wewe endelea tu kupiga kelele.
Hizo zingine zilikuwa na madogo na nyo.
I feel wasted, man. Feel so wasted.
Hata siku ulikuja church. Sikiza Mwix. Hata siku ulikuja church alikuwa anakupigisha maraundi. Hiyo siku ya kwanza.
Ni investment.
Umse bado anakuaga kihesabu kama date. Alianza kuhesabu hiyo date.
Hata siku yenye nilihama kanisaidia kubeba vitu.
Exactly.
Umse alianza kuzihesabu ile time limit. Ona sasa.
Anyway. So the read that I was talking about ninye sasa that came after your Sunday. So immediately like he promised, he called na akaniambia you like us to go for a date and then talk. And then now as in just talk and see the way forward. So we went for a date and when we went for ndio nikanunua chai na
narudia chai sana
na hot dog.
Sinijue ndo ulitaka. Unajua Mwix anasema ni kama Mwix anasema ngoja.
Ndio nilitaka. Anaambia utakunywa chai na nini? Ordered and brought for me. Akibeb ni ukweli hivyo ndivyo nilidu aki. And you see, mimi nilikuwa najua ukiona amenibea tu hii hiyo ndio ndo yako nayo. So I will not pressure anything because I know najua tu vile yako najua mfuko yake like we said earlier we dated a broke, so nilikuwa najua tu kama hii ndio ameafford size hiyo ndio yako nayo. So he bought me tea and hot dog and So tukakaa chini
Hautajagi hiyo hot dog sana.
Chai tu. Chai.
na simitaja.
Leo ndio ametaja.
Hapana, mimi nataka kusikia chai hata nyinyi. Nataka. So after that, kumbe msee alikuwa ameenda akaa chini akamap na list. Nataka kufanya. The reason as to why I count this date at the first date ni sababu sasa it was more now, things were clear, as in it was official, we are dating. Unajua zingine kama ndio na tu ni kama tu, it was just a try and error. So for me this is the first. So akaniambia tu vile siku ya wedding, ile siku yenye anataka kufanya wedding siku gani, akaniambia anataka kwenda kwetu siku gani. Yani he came up with a lineup of everything that he wanted to do. I was like, huh? Everything was planned. I'm like, okay. So and I was like, hiyo date ya wedo siko karibu sana. So there were friends of ours wenye pia walikuwa na wedio date, so tukasema wacha tu push your date. So we pushed it to the next that the date was to be in December, but we push it to the next holiday because tulikuwa tunataka kufanya wedo yetu time ya holiday, because tulikuwa tunapasta most young people wenye walikuwa boarding school. Yeah.
So you pushed your wedding by a whole 4 months.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
See.
The wedding date
China hot dog. Yeah?
Kina nani?
Ni
kina Temesi. Actually the Temesi because mimi nilikuwa, and that was, I think that was something that I started off the year with. That was 2016. My desire was that I get married on the 12th of December. So we came up, of course, like she's saying, I came up with the manifesto. It was very clear with all. In other places, we call it a critical path. Okay. Thank God for the training that I got through through the traineeship. So I came up with a very detailed plan, nikaandilisha hapo. So hiyo chai ilikuwa lazima ilipiwe. It wasn't free na hiyo hot dog.
Sasa alafu atumwambia ndio mnapendana hapa masaa ya kazi
ni chai na ufikirie kichwa yako engage. Okay. So yeah, and then I don't know whether it was at that point is when we also brought in the kinetemesis factor of the 12th.
Yeah, actually, when I say that, that will be too soon. We actually said then we can move it to the next holiday.
The next holiday,
because even kinetemesis getting married the same day.
The same day, yes, and we wouldn't want to have a wedding the same day with them, considering that we're in the same community as well. Okay, yeah, so that was it.
Okay. I want to highlight a question here, or a concern. This has been raised by Val. Brianna says, Val Salimika, but Val says, should we first grade levels of heart? Because I'm thinking sometimes, even if someone says, it's time we come back, the story would probably end the same way it ended. Nimeongeza hapo, hajasema hivyo, but I'm thinking so. What do you think?
What do you want to say?
I think her point is valid, because the reasons for breakups are different, and you can't just brush off your reasons. So yes, you can first, I think, like she's saying, you can grade the levels of heart and see. And just one of the things that I would like to say is, most of the things that when people break up make them not reconcile is one of them is pride, and I think it's the main thing, because if someone puts away their pride, they can be willing to work on what they are willing to. As in most of the things that make people break up, most of the reasons that make people break up, but also there are some relationships that also they are not made to be, so you cannot just force them to be. So yeah, maybe that's what I'd say.
Yeah, that's good. Again, let me just say what Mukali has said. People break up for different reasons, and it's okay for you to reflect on the reason so that you grade however you want to grade it, okay, or whatever that grading looks like for you. But again, there is something that I'm hearing here, Val saying, it's time we come back. I don't think it is just an issue of it's time we come back, okay? Coming back to what? That is the question I would ask, or I would encourage you to ask. Coming back to what? Now, let me use, because this is Journey of the Moon, let me use our example again. We broke up because I was compromising our boundaries. And Mwikali felt, no, I will not let that happen. I will preserve myself until marriage, whether it is with you or for the man that I will get married to. Okay? Now, what did I come back for? Like I said earlier, I came back because I saw that if this lady can actually fight for her values, then it's someone worth having for a spouse. Okay, I saw that differently. Okay, but then also I mentioned that I came back because of the things that I was attracted to in this lady. Those are the things that I was coming back to. But then also the other thing, I was coming back to a desire that I had from the moment I got attracted to her, because I saw a wife, I saw a family with her, and that is what I was coming back to. Okay, now the reason could be the same. It could be maybe there are guys who are breaking up because of the same reason. Okay, but someone could be coming back to, could be saying it's time we come back to try again if this lady or this jamaa will put their guard down. Okay, so kuna msa anaweza kuwa narudi just to push it a little bit more, aseme tu maybe she wasn't willing then, but maybe as I give it time, he or she will give me what I'm asking for. So watch out for that. It's not just a matter of coming back. Okay, someone else could be coming back just because maybe they were in a relationship just like everyone else out there, and now in their circle, now again they're the only person who is not in a relationship. They broke up and they don't know what to go tell people. Okay, and so they would rather, let me just come survive in this. Clarity of why you're coming back is very important. That's what I'm saying. Be very clear what you're coming back to. Are you coming back to try again, or are you coming back because there is value in this relationship? Okay, now in that case, if the story probably ends the same way, awesome, praise God. But you see, come back and know that I messed and I want to come back. I want to make it right. That's what I did. And I was not going to push our boundaries again. And I never did that to this point. She can tell you that. Why? Because I knew that I'm coming back. And in my words, I told her, I want us to do this differently. Let's start afresh, go back to the drawing board and start differently till we get married.
Yeah, I think the reason as to why I wasn't hesitant to say yes is because I knew him, and I knew the kind of the person that he is, and I knew that if he says something, he'll keep his word. So also when you're trying to get back to someone, you might need to, as in, that person might say no because maybe they know that you might not keep your word or something. Your character and how that person knows you will also determine if they'll come back and they'll accept. So that's why I accepted. I knew the kind of the person that he was, that he is, and so I was not afraid that he will not keep his word. Yeah,
and I like that because again, Val and many others that you're asking this question for, you don't want to be coming back every now and then.
Mm.
Okay, so you have. It's time you come back, and then it happens again. It's time you come back again. Over and over. I don't think you want to do that. Okay, so that clarity will really help. But that is not to say that you'll not be hurt. Be hurt. Be clear on why, what causes the hurt, and are we willing to address? Is there something bigger than this? Is there something that can cover this hurt? We can not really cover, but something that we are hoping for, something we are holding on to together, that will make us resolve this. But if the hurting is the main thing and there is nothing big you're seeing, there is no point of mending things.
Yeah, and I think even just hearing that, so maybe even before breaking up, consider some of those things, and ask yourself, because I think when that happened, part of the trust is lost, and you need to ask yourself, do I want to get myself into a place that I need to keep asking myself, have I made the right decision, or will he do this again? And think about the things that bring you together, or the things that attracted you to this person, and I maybe that would be enough to bring you back. I don't know, but thank you very much, Val. That was a good question, and yes, we still have some.
There's another question someone asked on Mwikali's watch party. Yeah. Maureen Zilla is asking, Wix, when you received his makeup call, what's going through your mind? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you expecting this?
Yeah, like I said, I kind of didn't expect it, but I would say I was excited. I was excited because because I loved this guy, and I knew that he was a good guy, but
things happened.
Things happened, and I said that no, I cannot trade something for this. So I was excited. I was kind of nervous because something that I wasn't expecting. Yes, that is what I would say.
Here's something that Pastor Luma kept telling us. You guys, you're two people who truly love each other. It's evident, and it almost seems like you're meant for each other, but you have collided. Two people who love each other but have collided in such a bad way, and maybe taking, retreating a little bit will be a wise thing to do, so that you come back now in a more strategic way. Mmependana, unajua ile design unapatana na best yako, and then mnaenda kugoteana mkagongana. So maybe if you kind of said hi in a more in a better way, amungegongana. Okay, something like that.
Awesome. I now we are ending the season this season today. Okay. Yes. As we wrap it up, what are some of the things that you would like us to know about now, this particular stage that we are calling, or this particular stage that we are calling Boy Meets Girl? So what is it that you like people to, so that we don't bakisha anything?
Wow.
So is that all? Basically, I'm asking, so meet America Manifesto, what is calling a critical path. Bruda, let me ask, do you think that is a place we as men don't, because seems like Mwix took that as a big, I don't know, it seems like it was a big deal for her. Is it a common thing, and could it be something that could help a relationship, having a clear path on where we are going? I think ladies want to know, tunaenda wapi? Hata ukimpeleka out na unamwambia ni surprise, anashinda kuuliza tunaenda wapi? They always want to know. So do you think that is key in a relationship, to basically get a picture of how the future should look like?
In fact, as you ask that question, I would really like to hear Mwikali answering that as a lady, how
As a
it made
lady,
her feel,
yes.
okay, as a lady. But
Yeah.
even as she thinks about her answer, I think what I'll say is that was natural for me as an issue of personality, first and foremost. Nupenda tu kujipanga. And naturally, I want to know, which can sound as a good thing, but again, is the thing that as I've grown, especially in my walk of faith, I have realized it's the thing that has, in many ways, stood in the way of me trusting God, because I want to be in control. Okay, I want to know how tomorrow is going to turn out. Okay, so that is the negative side of it. But naturally, it's something that I think it also has its own good. I want to be clear about what my goals are. What do I need to achieve them, by when, and all that. So I was just in my component, I would say, at that point. And also remember, I had dated Mwikali for a number of months, okay? So I had already gotten to know her, and there are things that I really liked about her. So when this comeback is happening, remember I'm saying I want us to go to the drawing board and do this differently. I am very clear. And I don't want to waste any moment. I want to be clear. Nataka tukuwe na plan. So this is something that I had thought about, I had processed for quite some time. And I just wanted to bring it on the table. And I think where I was coming from, I was feeling that this could be one of the ways to show this lady that, by the way, I am serious about this relationship. I might have messed, but that doesn't mean that I think less of you. That doesn't mean that I think less or I feel less about the two of us. Okay, I still value what we were seeing together as the future is concerned. And I think as men, I'm a Christian, and maybe you're watching me and you are not a believer, you're not a Christian. I like referring to the story of the Garden of Eden. God gave Adam work to do, okay? And Adam was clear on the responsibility that was given. And that is how now he was given a helper. And I believe that every man has work to do, and you need to be clear on what you need to do. And it's in that respect that now you become a vision bearer of this relationship that you want to lead into marriage and the marriage itself. Okay. So with that kind of belief, I knew that I needed to lead Mwikali. I needed to lead Mwix into a space where she will feel led, she will feel, secure. Yeah. I knew it was my responsibility.
I think for me, one thing that was very clear to me, like I've been saying, is that I didn't want to get into a relationship for the sake of it. My desire was, if I get into a relationship, I'm getting into it because I want it to end into marriage. And what I was looking for in a guy was that person must be a Christian. That guy must be a visionary. He knows where he's going to. Yeah, and I must be attracted to him. So when he came with a manifesto for me, it was very clear that he knows where he's going to. Okay, I already knew that he knows where he's going to, because like he said, we had already dated, and I knew him. I knew that he was a man who will lead me and take me to the vision that God has given both of us. And so for me, that was very good that she came up with a plan. And I questioned the places where I felt like I needed to question. It's not like he came with a plan and I didn't have any say. He came up with a plan, yes, but I had a say on the plan. That's why we even ended up changing the date. So for me, it was I felt really good. Wow, I would like to follow this guy, because I know naturally I'm a very good follower. I might not, as in, struggle to follow. So I follow well. And so when he came with that manifesto, I was very okay with it, and I was good to go. And like I said, just questioned a few things that I felt that I needed to.
Thank you very much. I think that is something I can affirm. You are a good follower. Let me say something. When you got married, I think I was seated somewhere and I heard people who were saying how people were just talking about different couples and saying uh, mali heri kako utakosa mwix. Mi siwezi kuwa hivyo. Mi lazima kwanza ajue I'm a woman of my own and sijui nini vitu mobe. And I was like, I think I would want that, you know, where I see a couple together, see kila mtu anaendaga pande yake, and it really goes back to the ability of the lady to follow the man. But then again, I would say that the man needs to provide an atmosphere or a plan that can be followed. The man needs to allow leadership, allow the lady to follow you follow something. So if you don't give someone something to follow, then it becomes difficult for them to follow. So I would really want to commend you and affirm you guys, even as we end this season. You have done an amazing job. We see you. There is a lot we would like to, you know, even apply in our own marriages and relationships. And this thing that you're doing is going to help somebody out there. You know, maybe with our stories, it's not possible to answer all the questions. But you know what? May this story go ahead and motivate somebody out there and inspire somebody or challenge somebody or affirm a relationship out there. Parting shots, because our time is up.
Yes.
Parting shot. Take it away.
Okay. Clearly, there is so much to share, Dante. But as I give my parting shot, let me mention that if you have any question, the 1 hour might not be enough, and there are things that maybe there are questions or concerns or points that you'd like to share with us, which could be part of your story, and they come after the show has ended. Feel free to just post them, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook. And I think we will be very, very glad to just read through and respond where we need to respond, okay? I really, really want to encourage you to do that. As I give my parting shot again, there is a question that Val has asked here, Dante, and even if that will just be my parting shot, then that's okay. Speaking as a lady, that manifesto thing would only work as per a person's personality. If someone is a promise breaker, it will only take the voice of God. For a natural lady, I would say to take that as a scope. And thank you again, Val, for sharing that. But this is what I'd like to say. We are speaking. I am speaking to every man out there, and from experience, from the relationships that I've had with people, many people that I work, I've come alongside. I know that leading a woman is a great thing. That is a responsibility a man has been given. You are the leader, okay? And you lead by showing. And they say that leaders, especially visionary leaders, are able to see, far, so that they lead you into a space where they have been themselves. So whether you are a promise breaker, whether you're not, as a man, I'm speaking to you out there, it is your responsibility. Do so. But then I also want to say, when it comes to now this specific issue of bringing up a manifestation, don't do it to impress. Be very honest with yourself. First and foremost, as a man, be very honest with yourself. Tell your truth with it. Do not do it just because you had somewhere that you need to have it. Be very honest with yourself. Now, that's one, okay? But then if indeed now for the lady, if there are things that have happened before, and maybe you have baggage, you have a perspective you have about this guy, okay? Now, if they're honest on themselves now, sasa wewe, you need to work on yourself. If this guy has come up with a manifestation, there's a place they want to lead you, whether they've cheated on you or they've done something to you before, if this time they are legit, then just know that hata wewe, you have a part to play. You'll need to work on yourself for you to be able to follow that jama. That's my parting shot.
Okay. Something that I've just noticed Eric was talking is that during that break, I really spent time praying, And I think a prayer is key. Prayer is very key in many things. And just to in relation to what Vala said, if the Lord is the one who has put you in that relationship, even if that man is not leading, sometimes there are cases whereby men might not lead. The Lord will show you what to do. He might even want you to lead the relationship, so He'll show you on what to do. So just the fact that Eric had a manifesto does not mean that is what people is the blueprint that people should use. No, every relationship is different, and God is the one who shows you. If you seek God, especially if you are a Christian, God will lead you in every step that you're taking. Now to my parting thought. One of the things that I've experienced in my life is that before Eric, I dated other people and I was hurt in other relationships. But one of the things is that I never compared Eric to anyone from the people that I had dated before. And because I had allowed God to, especially from my last breakup that I had before meeting Eric, had allowed God to work in me, so that even when I was making the decision to say yes to Eric, I was not carrying any hurt in my heart. So even when he hurt me and he came back, I was not carrying any heaviness in my heart. So one of the things is, most of the time we need to work on ourselves and not the other person. Because when we work on ourselves, then things become clearer. How you make decision becomes you make better decisions in future. But when you're just looking for the other person to change or to do something, then you might make the wrong decisions. But when you focus on yourself, then you will understand, you will know the things that God wants to work in you. You work on them, and then He will lead you. He will lead even when to say yes and when to say no. Yeah. Yesterday we were joking with Eric here, saying that sometimes we hear people are saying, "What are you bringing on the table?" But the question should be, what am I bringing on the table? Because why should I just wait for him to bring something on the table when I'm not bringing anything on the table? That most of the time does not work. Yeah.
Wow, what a way to end. What am I bringing on the table? Thank you very much for following Journey with Your Mondays today. It's the end of season. This is season 2 or 3?
3.
3. End of season 3. And this season was named, or titles was Boy Meets Girl, Girl Meets Boy. But this is not to mean that the journey is over. After a week's break, we continue with the safari. Hii itakuwa moto. And next week we will tell you why you need to tune in. Next week we will tell you why you need to be part of the week that follows, the next season's story. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for following Journey with Your Mondays on Facebook. You can continue to do that by just going to that page and liking and commenting and engaging and sharing the videos there. And if you've missed a show, all of them, ziko hapo Facebook, go back and look at them. Right now, we say, to also remind you that we are also on YouTube. Go to Journey with Your Mondays on YouTube and like, subscribe, and also share. Remember, also activate the post notification thingy so that you can get all the notices, the posts as they come, fresh and direct. Now, at this point, we want to end the show. This is the earliest we've ended this season. Sababu stories zimekuwa moto sana, but I think it's always good to end na tabia poa.
Is this what they call, Dante? Is this what they call finishing well?
This is finishing well. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Finishing well. Yes, allow us to end the show here. And now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God, fellowship of
the Holy Spirit,
be with us now.
Amen.
Forevermore. Amen. All right. From us we say,
Kwa heri.